Welcome to Starter Pack. Today we're tackling a major question in the development world. Is Flutter dying? Flutter has been a powerhouse for cross-platform development, and we've used it a ton. But with recent issues, the rise of Flock, a new fork of Flutter, developers are asking whether it's time to migrate or stick around. But today we're going to dive into because this will be challenged, what you should know about Flutter and its future in the cross-platform development space. So let's dive in. All right, welcome back to Starter Pack. I'm Spencer Thomason. Here at Starter Pack, we'd love to train software developers in our licensed coding bootcamp and build custom software solutions. So I do a lot of work as a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years in software development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology, teams, and products. All right, Flutter has been a game changer, empowering developers to build seamless cross-platform apps. But Flock, a fork of Flutter, was created to address some core issues, and it's sparking debate in the developer community. Is Flutter really failing, or is Flock a temporary trend? We're diving in to explore the pros and cons of each and what they mean for the future of the app development. Now, Flutter took the development world by storm, offering a way to create native-like apps for both iOS and Android. At the time, there was React Native, but that was really clumsy and cumbersome. So Flutter really took the world by storm. But now recently, some developers have expressed concerns that Flutter's direction under Google isn't working very well. They worry that Flutter's priorities are shifting and stability issues are on the rise. So, meaning it's less stable. Flock was created as a direct response to these issues, offering what some claim is a better Flutter. This development raises big questions. Is Flutter at risk, or is it still going strong? Now, Flock is a fork of Flutter, and let me get it pulled up here for you because it's fairly recent that these have come out, right? And so this is a post talking about why they've, let me pull up on my screen here, why they decided to fork it. So we're forking Flutter, and this is why. And he talks about that Flutter has a labor shortage, right? There's many, how many developers working today? He's saying there's about 1 million people in the world that are working on Flutter, so it's been really tough for Google to stay on top of it. So to make matters worse, Google's corporate refocus on AI caused Flutter team to deprioritize all the desktop platform. So there's a cost of limited labor. He goes through that. The Flutter community can help with the labor, right? And so Google's been really slow to accept a lot of the commits that they've wanted to do. And so why not work directly with the Flutter team, right? So they want to work with them and try to get this, but he's saying sadly, it's a different reality. They don't offer, there's again, the limited review labor. So not enough people are reviewing all the pull requests that are coming into Flutter at this time. And so Google either needs to kind of, get involved or not, right? And so this is why they did and this is from the founder, right? And he said, our fork of Flutter is called Flock. We describe Flock as Flutter Plus. In other words, we do not want or intend to fork the Flutter community. Flock will remain constantly up to date with Flutter. Flock will add important bug fixes and popular community features, which the Flutter team either can't or won't implement. And so this is really the best nature. I've talked a lot about open source dying. This is really kind of the best nature of open source, if you want my opinion, because I think this is a great opportunity for somebody to take an open source like Flutter and be able to continue to build onto it. So Flock is a fork of Flutter designed to address some of the community's grievance with Google's handling of Flutter. The goal is to make a more developer-centric tool that solves the issues of stability, responsiveness, and control. Flock developers say they're bringing back the simplicity and power that draws developers to Flutter in the first place. The split reflects a core frustration with the developer community that big corporations sometimes lose sight of the developers they're supposed to be serving. And if your company has systems that aren't connected, let us help you out. Here at Starter Pack, our specialty is connecting systems to help your company work like a well-oiled machine. Now, some of the frustrations with Flutter stem from Google's handling of its development. Developers argue that Google's priorities aren't aligned with the need of the community. And as we saw on there, Google shifting so much resources to AI is a big part of this. So Google's focusing more on monetization and corporate goals rather than actual usability. These grievances have grown over time, especially as developers have reported issues with updates and platform stability. With Google holding tight onto the control over Flutter's direction, many feel that Flock's independence could bring needed innovation, which also could spurn Google. Flock developers are openly addressing some issues, hoping to bring back the control and community-driven development Flutter once offered. Now, Flock aims to refine the cross-platform development environment, addressing pain points that have been problematic in Flutter. It promises a renewed focus on performance and customization, allowing developers to build apps without some of the restrictions and bottlenecks that are currently in Flutter. With Flock, developers can expect faster updates and improvements that cater specifically to community feedback. The developers behind Flock claim that their model is more agile and responsive, so this could be a turning point, making Flock a powerful tool in the cross-platform world. Now, hopefully it's not too far of a fork. So there's some pros with sticking with Flutter. Despite the new interest in Flock, Flutter has still a strong reputation and a vast community. Google provides ongoing updates, extensive documentation, and solid integration with Google's ecosystem. Flutter's reliability has allowed it to maintain a foothold in the industry with a mature framework that developers trust. Many developers are reluctant to leave a stable platform, especially given Flutter's consistent performance across major platforms. For some, Flutter's stability and existing community make it hard to justify jumping ship. Now, some of the pros to moving to Flock. On the flip side, Flock presents opportunities for developers looking for more control and less corporate influence. Flock's creators promise a more adaptable and customizable platform addressing the very concerns that led to its creation. They're positioning Flock as the tool that it respects the developer autonomy and prioritizes open source principles. For those frustrated by Google's approach, Flock offers an alternative that both community-driven and flexible. Flock is gaining interest among the developers who want to reclaim control of their tools and their workflow. So one of the biggest challenges for Flock will be building an ecosystem that rivals Flutter's. Flutter has a vast library of packages and plugins, all backed by Google's resources. Flock, as a new project, has a smaller ecosystem that is still growing. So it's unclear whether Flock will be able to attract the same level of community support and resources as Flutter. And the other question is, do they even need to? For developers, choosing Flock might mean sacrificing some of the integration and tools that they're accustomed to in Flutter. Or if the Flock developers can figure out how to really make it Flutter Plus, that way you could still get both. So the split between Flock and Flutter could have significant impacts to the developer community. It brings up questions of loyalty, community support, and resource allocation, as developers now have to decide which tool to support. If Flock gains traction, we might see more forks and alternatives emerging in the industry. The competition between Flutter and Flock might even push Google to address some of the issues that led Flock to Flock's creation. This divide could redefine what developers expect from their tools and the companies behind them. Google could probably just move a whole team over to Flutter, address most of the large concerns, and could squash Flock if they wanted to. And then if you're built on Flock, you're going to have to figure out how to migrate back. So speaking of connected systems, if your company's tech stack is a bit disjointed, let Startup Hack help come in and we can help you fix it. We specialize in connecting systems and optimizing workflows so that you can focus on what really matters. Head over to startuphack.com/Spencer and see how we can help. Now, if Flock continues to gain attention, Google might be forced to address developer feedback more directly. This could mean introducing new features, increasing transparency, or making Flutter more community-focused. Maybe they just need to move some more resources to review the pull requests that are coming in from Flutter and those that aren't being rejected. Now, Google has resources to improve Flutter, but it is a bit unclear if they'll make these changes without significant pressure and also without the opportunity to make money, right? At the end of the day, Google is a corporation and they need to make money. So where's the money for them in Flutter? And that ultimately is the bigger question. The rise of Flock could serve as a wake-up call to remind Google of the value of listening to its developer base. If they respond positively, Flutter could grow even stronger with this challenge. They also could swing the other way and try to squash Flock. We'll see. Switching to a new tool like Flock isn't without its risk. Because Flock is still new, it lacks the proven track record and extensive support that Flutter enjoys. Developers might face challenges with stability, bugs, or lack of resources. For teams with existing projects in Flutter, transitioning to Flock could mean significant rework and potential setbacks. It's a classic case of balancing risk versus reward, and developers need to carefully consider if Flock is right for them. Now, the competition could be a positive thing for cross-platform development as a whole, driving both tools to innovate and to improve. I'm always a big believer that competition is really the one who wins with competition is the consumer. And for those consumers, it's the developers who are using Flock or Flutter. If Flock and Flutter each push to provide a better user experience, the entire industry benefits. Developers will have more choice, more customizations, and potentially better performing tools. This could even lead to other platforms following suit, introducing more options for developers looking to build across multiple systems. In the end, more choices and tools means more power in the hands of the developers. So is Flutter actually dying? Not really. Flutter is still a huge user base, probably almost 1 million users, and Google isn't about to abandon it. But the rise of Flock does suggest that developers are demanding more, and Google needs to adapt to that. Now, Google doesn't always listen to people super well because they're Google, right? They're the giant. Nobody tells the giant what to do, right? While Flutter's future is secure for now, Flock's emergence is a reminder that even the biggest tools have to listen to their community. React Native, I'm sure, thought they had a hold on the market until Flutter came around. So whether Flutter evolves or Flock rises to prominence, developers are likely to benefit from the innovation that comes from its competition. So what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you tried out Flock yet? I honestly haven't even tried it yet, but I would love to hear your guys' feedback if anybody has tried it. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and to build custom software solutions for companies. So reach out because we'd love to help. Hit the links down below or check out startuphack.com today, and we'll catch you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because we bring you lots of great tutorials and tips that every developer should know. See you next time.